Hey guys, hello and welcome to Deciphering Your Body's Clues So You Can Heal. This is the podcast live stream where I help to translate any messages your body is sending you in pain and disease and help get you on the path to healing. For today, though, I'm going to do something a little bit special. As you can see, it is St. Patrick's Day. For those of you that aren't Irish, I'm sure you probably are aware it's St. Patrick's Day. I am half Irish, and it's a very, very Irish half. I come from McMahons and Shanahans and Quinns. And so there is very strong Irish tradition, certainly in my family. So I wanted to, my little daughter actually also, we both have the little stickers on today. If you don't follow me on Facebook, go follow me. You can just find me on Facebook at Meyer-Robson, and you can see some cute pictures of, actually, if you friend me, you can see some cute pictures of myself and my daughter this morning, as well as keep up with other things. So today I wanted to talk about creating your own luck, because I see in the world a lot of people, and certainly I've had this experience myself in my life, where it just seems like some people are luckier than others. Now, there's a whole foundation we could talk about people getting a better start in life for a whole host of reasons. Certainly that happens. But we've also all seen people that have done the rags to riches stories, or, excuse me, who have dramatically changed their lives and their luck. And so what's the difference between people that just seem to have this easy in the flow luck where it seems like everything they touch turns to gold, and those that are trying so hard to make things happen but keep having these repeat negative experiences, difficulties and obstacles, maybe the same kind of obstacles that show up again and again? What's the difference between those two things? And that's really the core of my first book and the work that I did around the flow method. So we're going to be talking about that today. How do you shift your luck? How do you pinpoint the underlying reasons why you keep having repeat negative experiences, and then be able to actually literally retune your mind to tune into the kinds of experiences that you want, so that it looks like magic, it looks like luck, and it kind of is in a way. So we're going to talk about all of that today. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to be able to do that. But first off, we're going to do what we do every time. I'm going to go ahead and take my book, The Flow Method, and we'll do just a quick connection to see what inspiration we should find today from this. As sort of our daily inspiration. Let's see what we've got today. Okay. Express yourself. You know that you want to. So this is in what I call Station 5. And Station 5 is sort of your vocal cords, your ability to feel like you have willpower, which I hate the word willpower. It's actually, it's a bad word. So express yourself. You know you want to. So what we're talking about in this section is being able to, which is actually in alignment with what we're talking about today, learning to speak, think, act, and do in alignment with your goals. So for a lot of us, we've been told that our voice or our vocal cords, or the actions we want to take in life, the things that we need to do towards our dreams, and all the other ways that we express ourselves, whether it's physically through something like, just walking or moving in our lives, or things like dance or sports or those kinds of things. Perhaps you've been criticized for the ways that you express yourself physically, mentally, and vocally. And one of the things that we need to pay attention to is how we actually express ourselves to ourselves in our minds. I was just working with somebody yesterday who has psoriasis behind her left ear, and it came on really badly. Came on originally when she was 16, but it came on, and that was sort of like all over her scalp. And then it came on really badly again. It had gone away for many, many years, and she became a mom. And the trigger around the things she was hearing from her own mom about how she was being a mom, and then her own internal thoughts and expressions towards herself about her own personal power, and even just the word mom, was enough of a trigger to cause this to come back up on her left side. So that's what we want to pay attention to, is how do you express yourself? One way to catch yourself is to pay attention, just dedicate yourself in one whole day to paying attention to the ways that you express yourself, what the things that you're saying about yourself and about others. Are you judging yourself and others? Or are you being kind and supportive, not only of others, but also of yourself? And if you catch yourself saying and thinking things that are negative about yourself, catch that thought, write it down, and then come up with the opposite of that thought to change it to. You can also do something where you write it down and then you start to ask yourself, is this true? And that's a really nice way to catch yourself and make yourself sort of shift into a better way of thinking about yourself, the better way of speaking about yourself and about others. So you sit down and maybe you say, I'm a failure at everything, right? Maybe that's the thing you catch because you've done something and it didn't work, whatever. And so in that case, you want to catch it and say, is that true? And I bet you can start looking in your life for things that you've been able to do that are successful, right? You had to have been successful at some things in your life and go all the way back. What things are you successful at? Maybe you're successful at being a really kind person and supporting others. That is a success. Maybe, you ended up getting a raise at work, a promotion at work. That's a success. So is it true that you're always a failure? I bet it's not. So that's a great way to unwind negative beliefs, just literally sitting down and going, is it true? Is that true? Is that true? And then each statement that you come up with after that, just keep asking, is that true? Until you get down to the truth of the situation. So hopefully that little inspiration will help you today. Let's talk about creating your own luck and what is luck in the first place. So, when you see people that seem like they are very lucky, they're probably lucky in certain areas of their life and not so lucky in others, even if it looks like everything is like, roses and unicorns and puppies. I don't know anybody where everything is all luck and wonderful things in every area of their life. So what's going on with that? Why are there certain areas of your life that might be causing just constant problems, constant issues, repeat problems, repeat experiences, like the same exact thing happening again and again, like that old Bill Murray movie, Groundhog Day, where he just keeps waking up and it's the same thing over and over again, and he can't change it, and it's just driving him crazy. Well, it's a very similar experience, right? If you just keep starting out. Like I had a client I worked with recently, and he's a serial entrepreneur, but he keeps starting these things, and at exactly the same point, every single time, he ends up, everything falls apart. So he's like super successful for a little bit, and then at the exact same point, every single time, things start happening, and it's the exact same stuff happening again and again and again. So is that luck? It's not, or bad luck in that case. It's not. What it is that we have sort of 7 areas of our mind, body, and life where we have programmed in unconscious beliefs. And again, because they're unconscious, you actually don't know they're there. But the problem is you're going about in life and you're operating on these unconscious beliefs as if they're true and as if they're true for you, right? So what this means is if you imagine the universe, because we are connected to everything in the whole universe all the time, if you imagine that you are sort of like a radio, right? Or a TV, either one. And imagine that your mind is sort of like, we'll just say radio. Let's imagine your mind is like a radio. And if you remember those like old, I'm going to date myself, but you used to be able to program your favorite stations on certain buttons. So you'd have like 5 buttons. Actually, you still can in your car. So let's say you're in your car and you want to program in your favorite stations. And so like in my car, I'll just use my example. In my car, I've got Sirius XM Fly. It's old school hip hop. That's like my station 1. And then my second one is like 90s on 9, I think. And my third one is like Alt Nation. Anyway, so we'll just take those 3 to make it easy. Okay, so those are my stations. So let's say I get in my car and that day I decide I want to listen to like a heavy metal station. And let's say I keep pushing button 1, right? Am I going to tune into a heavy metal station? right? I'm not, right? Because that button is still programmed to the frequency of SXM fly, old school hip hop, right? So I can push that button all I want to push it. I can push it. I can yell at my radio. I can freak out. But no matter how much, unless I change the frequency I have attached to that particular button to a heavy metal station, that's never going to tune into any other frequency but that. The same exact thing is true of your mind and the way that your mind is searching for experiences that match what you're looking for. So in your mind, body, and life, you have these sort of seven different stations, right? And each station sort of deals with, it's like a certain radio station that has a certain like topic or kind of music, type of music that you're tuning into. The same is true. So each of these 7 stations literally is an area of your mind, body, and life, and that's all it deals with. And so if you have some unconscious beliefs that are problem beliefs in that station, then that sort of favorite button has been programmed into that frequency. Let me give you an example. So let's say station 2 deals with your individual relationship to other individuals. So that can deal with partnerships, business partnerships, one-on-one relationships of any kind. So love relationships, but also friendships, individual relationships in your family, etc. It also deals with the area of your body with like your sexual organs, your hips, the sort of lowest part of your back, that kind of thing, sort of that kind of area of the body as well. So let's say that you have a pattern of dating really jealous people and you would like to break that pattern because, I mean, who wouldn't, right? And so let's say, but every time you go out into the dating pool, it seems like you just end up attracting the exact same kind of person again. So maybe you break up with the last one that's super jealous, and maybe you say to yourself, okay, that's it. I'm never choosing another relationship like this again. That's it. I'm never dating another crazy jealous person again. I'm done with this. Now, here's the only problem with that. Just like when I said, I'm going to go listen to the heavy metal station today, but I kept pressing that first button to tune into old school hip hop. You can consciously say over and over again, I'm breaking this habit, I'm breaking this pattern, this is not happening again. However, if your underlying frequency, your underlying beliefs are programmed in to a certain set of experiences, then it's just like me pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing that button, and I can yell and scream and freak out, but it's never going to tune into something different. Okay, so that's the exact same thing. So you can say consciously, like, I'm never tuning into this again. But if you don't get to the underlying frequency and change that underlying frequency, then nothing's going to change. And this is why you may have experiences in certain areas of your mind, body, and life that it seems like all you have is bad luck. And the reason is because your belief system is tuned into something that is causing you problems. That is, when you go out searching for the, like, whatever the thing is you're looking for, and you're like scanning across all the frequencies of possible experiences in the world, your mind, your radio is going to be tuned in again and again into whatever your favorite frequency is. It's literally looking for matching experiences. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And that's why you can have one area of your life where everything is like flowing and easy and great. Maybe you have like all great group experiences, like whatever groups you're in, whether it's a group of coworkers, a group of friends, teams that you're on, anything like that, your family. Maybe you just have great group experiences. Well, that means that your station 1 has all really flowing, great, super tuned in, excellent beliefs. Okay, so that button you can leave alone. That button's doing just fine, right? But maybe, as I say, you get up into station 2 and that button is tuning you into like jealous people again and again. Okay, and so that's where you can see these, like, one area of your life is easy and one area of your life is problematic. This also shows up as problems in the body. So you may have this like station 2 issue where you're tuned into these repetitive jealous relationships, and you have maybe severe pain in your low back, maybe on one side or the other, depending on whether you're dating women or men. You know, it might start showing up on the left side if you date women and you constantly have these like jealous, unsupportive, problematic women you're dating. So that can translate into like basically physical issues as well. Okay. So that's where I like to tell people, if you can catch the belief at sort of the belief stage, at the problem experience stage, at the repetitive negative pattern stage, then if you can catch it there, you can change the belief before it manifests into something in your body. If you don't catch it there, and again, this is no one's fault, because unfortunately, this is not something we were taught. It's not something that you would know. And again, these are unconscious beliefs. So this is not, there's no fault of yours if you keep having this happen, because they're unconscious. How do you even know they're there? You know, but if you don't catch it at that phase, then what happens is your body will eventually scream at you, because your body is trying to like fix the pattern and doesn't want the pattern. And so it'll eventually scream at you. And that's where you start to see pain and disease that shows up that is very literal to what you're experiencing. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. So how do you pinpoint these underlying beliefs? And that was like the driving question for me as I started to put together sort of the scientific discovery that's behind my work. Is, okay, we are tuning in and out of these experiences. We are connected to the frequency of everything in the whole world all the time. And we are connected to the infinite potential of a variety of any possible experience that could be pulled up from sort of that like flowing, waving, underlying quantum potential, as they call it, sort of this flowing underlying pattern of experiences and waves of experiences that sort of are just there as potential. Like, how do we pull those up, right? And how do we tune ourselves into that specifically? And that became, as I say, the quest. I was totally a nutty professor on figuring this out. So how you pinpoint those is through something that I created called the flow factor test. Now, the flow factor test is actually in my book, and I'll show you here. Here we go. So you can see here. And what you do is you're actually going through and you are answering these questions for how true they are for you. What it does is, as you're going through these and you go through them pretty rapid fire, what we're doing is we're getting past your conscious mind, right? Which overthinks things. And we're trying to pinpoint that unconscious, just the unconscious beliefs. And once you've gone through those, it's actually going to pinpoint for you in which of these 7 areas of your mind, body, and life you have out of the flow beliefs. And when you get to that, so when you get your answer, so you'll end up with what I call a flow factor. And you can see here, you also kind of, you're able to also assess where you have problems, health problems in your body as well. And so once you get your total flow factor, it's going to tell you your top most problem or out of the flow belief or area, I should say, station. And then your next one and your next one. So we take a look at the top 3. And so you take the top 1 and you go immediately to the workbook section that you need. That workbook section is actually going to take you through the process of identifying the exact problem belief that keeps tuning you in to these sort of bad luck experiences again and again. So I'll give you an example here, since we were talking about station 2 and these like, repetitive negative experiences in terms of, in terms of jealous relationships again and again, which by the way, I had, so I can speak to that very specifically. So you can see it'll take you straight to station 2. And station 2 is the energy of individual dynamics and creative power. And so what you'll do is you find out that in station 2, if you go to station 2, if you have problems or underlying frequencies in that area, then you'll find out the problem playlist. Like, what are the songs that keep being played? And by songs, I mean experiences that keep being played in your life because you have problems there, stifled creativity, problems with one-on-one relationships, relationships where you feel powerless or unable to stand up for yourself, or bullying situations, fear about birthing your own ideas, having others take your ideas as your own, having relationships where there's tons of fighting, it's the norm. So those are the kinds of experiences. And then it takes you straight to, it's gonna take you straight to different sections. So you're going to have different workbook sections in here, like creating the partner of your dreams. In this case, if you're looking for better relationships or business partners, that kind of thing. Then it also takes you to the exact exercises you need to be able to pinpoint those underlying beliefs and be able to finally know exactly what sort of affirmations and retuning statements you need to be able to shift that favorite frequency. So once you know that, and once you can retune that area of your mind, body, and life, you will see dramatic differences. So once you do that, it's like you've changed that original button to this new frequency. So that every time you go out in the world, suddenly you're going to see that everybody you're greeting maybe is flowing with like a very different energy. So if your goal is to shift, let's say station 2, and you're wanting to meet better individual relationships, once you've shifted this underlying frequency, that just naturally happens. It's like you push the button and you're like, okay, those are the songs I want to have played. Those are the experiences. And now you're going to start matching with something very, very different. So that's really the reason. So to sum it up, that's the reason that you'll look like you have great luck in certain areas of your mind, body, and life, and really bad luck in other areas of your mind, body, and life. So if you're interested in getting through this, if you'd like to just test out the flow factor test and take that, you can comment under the video and let me know. I'll send you the flow factor test for free, and you can take it and see what it pinpoints for you. If you'd like to get going and actually just fix the problem frequencies that are causing you bad luck, then you can grab underneath the video. There's a link to my book on Amazon. You can get it at Barnes & Noble and that kind of stuff as well. And make sure that you hop by TaraMeyer-Robson.com. You can grab a really great radical self-love challenge that and I designed because one of the biggest out of the flow frequencies for pretty much everyone that I work with tends to be around self-worth and self-love. We all just pick up really negative experiences and beliefs along the way that can really beat up our sense of self. So jump in, you can get a free radical self-love challenge. But when you do that, you'll also be automatically on my waiting list for my upcoming Manifest Your Dream Life Academy, where I'll be able to take you through all of these things and exactly how to program in all of your stations into love and abundance and flowing wonderful things with great ease. And you'll have a lot of support and a lot of engagement around being able to do that. So hopefully this has been hugely helpful to you today. What I can tell you is you've got this. Pay attention to how you're thinking and speaking about yourself and others this week so that you can catch those negative beliefs as you're doing that. And until next time, I wish you every bit of wonderful luck, happiness, joy, abundance, and all good things. I'll see you again next week.